Hey Aries, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. It is a new day. Oh, happy birthday. We're still in Aries season. I hope you're having fabulous celebrations, just having so many people love on yourself. You love on yourself. I hope it's a really good time of year for you. It's been interesting. The energy is definitely interesting right now. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of push and pull. I've been talking a lot about this. We have a little cluster of several planets in Pisces. Mercury and Venus have retrograded back into Pisces. Mercury has gone direct. I don't know why I keep saying Mars. Mercury has since gone direct. Venus will go direct this week. And we're also going to have a full moon in Libra, which is all about partnership relationships. So relationships are really being highlighted right now. What is working and what is not? What serves you and what does not? What needs a little more tension, love, care, adjustment? And recognizing when you just keep hitting a dead end. It's not always easy, right? Because there are a lot of things going on. There's things that we hope for, things that we hope change or come through, or maybe it's just a fluke, etc. And we really have to pay attention to what is happening in those dynamics, i.e. having some level of awareness so that we can make the right decisions accordingly. The moon is super tensely aspected right now. So aside from Mars, aside from Mars and Uranus, which are basically forcing us to work with what we got, work with what is in front of us, i.e. hammer out the nitty-gritty, those situations, relationships that aren't working, that do need a little bit more tender love and care. And it can be a little bit crazy making because we're dealing with all the emotions of it. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Full moons really kind of bring things out of the woodwork. They show people's true colors or thoughts or how things are really going to be manifesting moving forward. So really good time to pay attention. That's why I like to start the readings off with an energy cleansing. Just set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any of that block limitation that we might be coming into. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come into this reading with something on your heart, something on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over, be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. And I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing wellness services. Readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, etc. Or if you're just looking for a rebalancing of self, grounding, realignment, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're operating from that space, when we are grounded in self, we're making choices that actually bring us towards our happiness and our fulfillment, which is what we all deserve, right? So if you're interested, I would be honored to help, support, love in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All that info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, Aries, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. All right, Aries, let's get into it. Yeah, so some tension. It's really kind of vacillating back and forth this week. Anytime we're building up towards full moons, the energy intensifies. Yep. It amplifies, it enlivens. That's why people get a little bit crazy. And it's been a lot lately with the water element heightened, a lot of water planets in water sign really kind of heightening that emotion. So when people aren't getting what they want, when they're not managing themselves, it can get really, really messy, right? And it looks like part of the reason why some of this stuff has been a little bit messy for you, there's this element of the unconscious, like these deeper layers within yourself that are being uncovered, that are being revealed. It's why we're not seeing a lot of movement in the collective. It's why that Mars energy is kind of being put down and we're being forced to work with, to deal with, contend with what is in front of us, i.e. these patterns of synchronicity. So much of manifestation is about patterning. If we can recognize the patterns, if we can recognize the behavior, what's happening, the types of energies we're attracting, etc., then we can definitely like hammer out how to make adjustments. It does look like you've been working or are working on something that's really close to your heart. There's that manifestation card. Maybe you are really kind of working with those principles, but interestingly enough, in order to kind of situate ourselves in the quote-unquote right way to manifest, we really do have to reveal those hidden truths that are within ourselves, right? That patterning. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel like you deserve what you're going after? Or are these things that are constantly coming up to like show you, hey, you got to look at this a little bit more? I feel like there's been some things that have been happening. It's showing that there's been some things that are happening that are kind of coming up to give you that wake up call. I don't know, but it's like definitely trying to get your attention. You've been working really intentionally on yourself and kind of in this way that you are strategically putting pieces into play. But some of these roadblocks that you've been coming into have been feeling a little bit heavy. Or I feel like almost something is mirroring this back to you. Someone does feel a little bit on the defensive this week, trying to protect themselves a little bit. Maybe they're not letting you in. Maybe they're putting up some boundaries or kind of being a little bit more self-reflective, not necessarily needing you, or I don't know. There's something around this where I do feel like something needs some space and time so they can do their own healing. Maybe you do still have interaction with them, but they can't deliver as much as what they used to, right? And this is kind of some of that unconscious patterning that's coming to the surface. Because for you, it doesn't feel very comfortable. It actually feels a little bit difficult. You're in a place where things are like kind of good. Like you feel okay, you feel strong, you feel good, but you're not necessarily seeing that reflected back to you. And part of this 100% is being able to look at things with a diplomatic perspective. I feel like this has been popping up for you a lot in your readings lately, Aries, where there is a situation, person that you've been dealing with who kind of just needs to figure some stuff out for themselves. And for whatever reason, it keeps rearing its beautiful face. Whether I feel like you're taking responsibility for things that are not yours to take responsibility on for. But it does feel a little bit overwhelming, right? Because it doesn't really look like whatever you are dealing with is very grounded. If anything, you are the more stable force in this dynamic. There's a lot of emotions that are being triggered, and I almost feel like this is unfair emotions, or that's how you're perceiving it this week. It feels like you're getting backlash from someone that's not even yours, right? It's not even yours. But I feel like whatever this dynamic has been, you've taken the responsibility on as though it's yours, or in the past, you've kind of really shown up in a certain way, supported in a different way, maybe even a little bit of self-sacrifice for someone else's benefit. I don't feel like they're necessarily letting you in right now. I feel like even if you're trying to help, they don't really want it. Or they're kind of like pushing you off, like maybe saying some mean things, or like, it's not like they don't, you know, it's that, I'm gonna try to explain this, but it's like that value of like, when someone's angry within themselves and they want someone to take it away, but then they kind of push that person away at the same time. That's what it feels like. And I feel like you don't really know what to do about it. I mean, here's the thing, like, you have your wits about you this week. You have your wits about you this week, but at the same time, like, it's getting heavy. It's getting annoying. And you're at this point where, I don't know, like, you want change. And they want change too, but it's kind of this, well, what is the change going to be? This is something that someone's done a lot, over and over and over again. Someone not balancing their emotions. It is asking you to persevere to kind of overcome some of this. But in order to do that, you do need to flip your perspective. And I think this is going to take some time to reflect quietly. What is this justice? Okay. It's like you're feeling unheard, unseen. And you're at this point where it's like, I don't know, like either you're ready to like walk away, or that is something that's definitely like on the table. Maybe there's been conversations of that. Someone doesn't want to let go, or someone isn't there quite yet. Things have not been working. Things have not been working. And it does look like there is more to unfold in this dynamic. It's not said and done yet, but it does kind of feel like, I don't know if that's where it's headed. Everyone's situation is going to be different. Some of this can be saved, but it's very contingent on whatever's going on over here. Whatever this person dynamic is dealing with, like, I feel like they kind of have to get their head out of the sand, exactly, bringing in some clarity. But I also, it is kind of contingent on, you know, like, how you're showing up too. Like, sometimes we have to be that sounding board or that reflection for people to understand, right? Especially in those more intimate dynamics, relationships where we can be our free self. So sometimes there is no filter. Sometimes it can go downhill super quickly, right? There's some accusations, a lot of accusations that feel really heavy. I don't know. Someone's just like all over the place emotionally, which again goes back to what I was saying in the very beginning. It's just kind of how things are right now. You know, it's, yeah, I know, such a cliche, but it is all a part of the journey. It is, you know, and this is part of where Spirit's asking you to persevere and uncover what this patterning is. Where is it stemming from? Where is the disconnect? I feel like you don't really want to go down that road quite yet because you're already kind of tired. You're already kind of exhausted. And you're more like, you're at this point right now where you're like, I've done this for long enough, and it's a little bit more interesting to me to invest in myself. Like, I don't want to keep putting up with this, is what I'm hearing. It's also becoming that fuel, this magic one. It's also becoming that fuel to make changes. And like I said, 100%, as I'm saying that, the eclipse card pops out, which is all about change, both internal and external change. And that's the thing of it. Like, even though I think there is a lot of temptation to just be done and over with, to cut things off, to move on, move forward, I do feel like there is some stuff that needs to be worked out before the finality comes in. Because there is more to uncover. There is more to the story. That's what Spirit is trying to highlight. At the same time, you don't have to be subservient to this. And you know this. I think as you're kind of working through this process, that's becoming more and more apparent, because it's not you, right? Like, again, and I know we all contribute. There's two people in every relationship, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, to me, I'm seeing like you've been working really hard on yourself to be like grounded and stable and kind of come at this with a level head. And it's not necessarily being matched in this energy. But that's where we were talking about those patterns of just kind of, well, how would I normally approach this? And maybe change it up a little bit. You don't have to be an asshole, but, you know, maybe just like have a little more boundaries, have a little bit more self-assurance. Hey, if you need some time, that's cool. I'm going to ask you to like come find me when you're ready. You know, just things like that. So you're not the one constantly chasing that runner chaser vibe. So I hope this helps, Aries. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. Sorry if it was a little bit heavy. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But I do hope that you found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say hey, share in a little love, little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. Know that I'm sending it back your way.